Morning everyone, Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. 13th of February, my day off, also my birthday. So thought I'd do the mid-February video for you all. It's chucking it down outside, so well, starting the greenhouse before we can get over to the allotment. So turn the camera around. So not a lot happening there. A few bits that I was planning to move out, but so because the weather's turned, kind of left them in for a little bit. This propagator here, it's heated but with the cover off, just to, well, give the seedlings something to get going with, but they don't want too much heat. So this here is broad beans, super aquadulcis. Got the seed from DT Brown a couple of years ago, and it was only well, I wasn't going to grow any broad beans this year. I'll put that out there now, mainly because it transpires that it's only me that likes them. Then hang a sort out of the seed box, well, my toolbox that's full of seeds, and found a few left. So yeah, just done 12 cells of those. I mean, there's definitely 11 cells worth. Whether that 12 one germinates, who knows. These, again, this is the last of the beetroot. This is Funky Disco Mix. If you've seen videos from back end of last year, then this was the variety that produced the absolutely enormous beetroots in the autumn time. First little batch of dahlia cuttings, they're rooted, which is why covers off for those. So just got some Skelmersdale Jane there, and first few of Westerton Harry. So yeah, that's them sorted. In here I've got some sowing of some celery that I did the other night. So there's some tall Utah, this side here, so I have to do this with one hand, which is my normal go-to celery. Produces, well, for me, I find celery really easy the last couple of years. You bet your life that this year will be different. Now I've tried to do a different variety, but tall Utah is the one that I normally grow. It's just a green stem to it. It to be honest, gets into a proper big beast, but amazing flavour. Then what I've added in was the golden self-blanching. The reason I bought the seed on that was because for last year I wanted to go into the Hyde Hall vegetable competition, and I hadn't realised that I could have entered my tall Utah. I thought that for all vegetable competitions for celery it had to be a blanch type. It was only when I was going through all the details realised that actually there was two categories, one for self-blanch, or one for blanched and one for normal. And as it happened, had I entered my tall Utahs last year, I would have won, because, well, I thought they weren't the best, but they were miles better than what was in there. That's it. So moving on onto that little can there, that is chili poquito that's gone into there. So that is for this year's pepper in a can challenge. The stick is Dahlia Imperialis, and there's some Erigeum seedling. So lid back on there. Let's just control that. Let's go across the top here. So these are all the dahlia tubers. You can see some just starting to sprout, so like cornels, but I need to get some cutting off them as soon as they're doing their thing. Hypermintos, which I've taken some cutting of. Blight and Softer Gleam, which are still coming. Obviously Westerton, which we've done already. Winham Diane. So there's some dahlia there. Bryn's not doing anything as yet, but thankfully Mary's Germander's started sprouting. those three are all Marys, so but need to get some plants off them. These two I've added in for this year, just not for cut flowers, but these are just going to be going into some pots for the patio, just because I want a bit more colour on there. So got Pretty Woman, which is a compact variety, pink flowers. Dracula, compact variety, dark foliage. Oh, Pretty Woman's got dark foliage. Dracula, dark foliage with dark red flowers. You can see Dracula started sprouting already. So far, these are not doing anything. They're not sprouting, which is a bit annoying. So these are turmeric and ginger there. Then we find ourselves into familiar territory. Antirrhinums, little block there. Then these are all the chillies. Well, it does look like there must be something in here that is eating these, some little slug or snail, because of that shiny surface to it and little bites, so I need to track that down. Anyway, all of these then are chillies, apart from these three lots, which are sweet pepper. The allium lavender bubbles, which was in my last video, and then those three pots there are the begonia corm. So you can see just in that very back there, that's starting to sprout. So we've done all that lot. Let's get down. So within here, one failure so far. So within there, some dahlia cuttings. So that one there that's collapsed, you can see that's gone a little bit black, so it's got black leg, and you do get that with dahlia cuttings, which is where they get too wet or humidity is too high. So I suspect that's too wet, because it was absolutely hammering it down yesterday and everything was wet. So so within there I've got Western Harry, which is one of those that's collapsed, is Westerton. Then next row is Hyperminto, and then Winhome Diane, which at the time just had the one cutting available. So all I'll do is I'll just take a few more cuttings once I finish this bit of video and whack them in there to fill up. Then within that tray, I only sowed these last night. Two types of basil. Some a normal British basil, I've got 12 cells of, which is a green leaf variety, and then red Reuben, which as the name suggests is a red variety, and it is a bloody good variety. So there are other dark leaf ones. Most commonly sold is red ruffles, or just ruffles, or black ruffles it might even be called by some people, but ruffles is rubbish. It succumbs to being too wet and too cold very easily. So red Reuben for me, and so I've added that in to the mix this year. And that is, I've got to say, you know, things like the basils and some of these other bits, well, I run a garden centre. We do have privilege to be dealing with a lot of different varieties and different growers, so you get to see what's good and what is not. Also during the week, so these are all my sweet peas, February sown as opposed to the autumn sown. Quite frankly, haven't got enough space, or don't want to have to overwinter them if I sow them any earlier. Potatoes, so they're just in the greenhouse, as you can tell, no covers, but it is just allowing them to, well, I'm not even worried what they do, as long as they don't rot. I'm not worried about them sprouting and growing away. I just want to have them so that I've got them ready for planting out in mid-March. And I did buy this the other week, which is what's called a high-low thermometer. So it shows you what the highest temperature it was and then what the lowest it was over generally night, and that is what it's sitting at the moment. So I've got the little fan in, which is set to well, it's set to 5 degrees, so it just kicks in every now and then. Other than that, it's just yeah, bubbled. And I'll show you, I've dropped the base temperature down on the propagator units, or propagator cables, to 19 degrees. It was at 20, but I just wanted more, so I wanted the chilies to toughen up a little bit. But yeah, you can see in here, you know, things like the lantana, they're sprouting away, fuchsias are sprouting, the mango has got some nice old stems to it, the salvias, the chillies are starting to shoot there. These, I literally only took these the other week, so these are some salvia hot lip cuttings. And oh, that's spiteful. Always forget how painful these are. It's that Celery quintoyensis, narangilla. Look at them spines, but that's starting to sprout. That is begonia. What's it called? Stonehenge. So that's a cutting that I got back end of last year, and yeah, it is quite a big old boisterous one. So I was quite pleased to be able to get hold of, so literally cutting that big. So that'd be good for this year. And then my last remaining lemongrass, the others got eaten, so that one's still doing its thing. Lovely. That's Aloysia, lemon verbena. So yeah, putting on some nice growth already, and that'd be perfect for taking a few cuttings from as well, some early cuttings. This is Salvia black and blue, so again managed to get a cutting of that, or got a cutting. So yeah, that should be quite nice when that gets going. And that is another Salvia gregii type. It's got dark purple flowers, so that'd be nice. Just more Dahlia imperialis. So yeah, I'll do a little bit more tidying up in here, or do a few daily cuttings, and then off to allotment. Well, it's still raining, so thought I'd show you what's going on in here as well. Basically got loads of dragon fruits, and they are going into growth stage, which well, it's getting quite big actually. Got Mandeville there. Bought this December, so it's just normal Strelitzia, as in bird of paradise. And then those big leafed monsters at the back there, they're my turmeric, which have kept growing because they've stayed indoors, albeit they look a little bit well, yellowy brown, but that's just because they've dried out a little bit too much over the winter period, what with the well, warmer air that you get indoors. But once you get to spring, then I'll cut them down and let them flush up again. But yeah, that's what's going on in here. Hi guys, so basically I'd been waiting for ages to try and get to allotment to finish up the mid-February video, and honestly the weather's been absolutely horrendous, not feeling great, and so I'm not going to bother going over there, because honestly things probably won't have changed that much since I went up at the start of the month. But you know, all the action you saw earlier, when I say earlier, 6 hours earlier, in the greenhouse. So I'm kind of thinking that this is my video this month, and or for this period of the month, and that's all right, because, well, because it is, because you don't always have to get up to the allotment to do something just to do something. And I'm choosing today to be one of them days. So 6 hours worth of rain, wind, whatnot. You can see it already. I mean, the palm tree behind me, look how that's going. But yeah, weather's been absolutely awful. So yeah, that's it. That's me done. If yeah, I normally finish up with, if you've got any questions, send them to me. Obviously that still applies. If you've liked what you've seen, well, you've seen the greenhouse bit, so hopefully you've liked that. So if you have liked the video, then please subscribe to the channel. If you don't want to miss future videos, which hopefully will be more inspiring than this one, then please click that reminder button and enjoy what you're doing, have fun. It's probably not going to be in the garden today, but if you've got a greenhouse, then well, it's a bloody good time to make use of it. So yeah, till next time, well, there you go, and see you soon. Bye for now.